So they'll be calling you a radical. This is a really, really important video. So this is a historic day. This is an historic event. Nobody's going to pay attention because they don't know what the fuck this is. So the French government-backed conglomerate, who has a 50% stake, yes, that's who owns half the reactors in this crooked bailout. Nuclear bailout, bank bailout on chemo. They were smart enough to buy a put option, to write in a put option on the contract on 9 Mile Island, 3 times worse than 3 Mile Island, yep, Ghana, and the 3 reactors upstate in New York. They don't mention Indian Point, do they? Well, same thing. So they exercised their put option today. This is a major story, and I'll tell you why. By the way, before I talk about this, I taught the derivative option class right there. I taught right there. #1 school business in the United States. Dr. Koo, I taught the derivative, puts, calls. I was a derivative arbitrage specialist. That's what I did for a living. I taught it. I saved the program. This is the worst school business, most corrupt school business in the history of the state. Dr. Cooley got mad cow and died. You know, Kyle Madsen died. Everybody else, I mean, so corrupt, it's unbelievable. This evolution from 2000 to present, the most corrupt, oh boy. So, speaking of 2000, yeah, we used to take students back there. There's a picture with me and that dirtbag Buffett in there somewhere. Of course it's disappeared. Everything disappears around here. So, I want to get a few things out of the way and then we'll talk about this. What is a put option, what they did and how historic. This, I mean, the nuclear energy crime syndicate. Understand, the nuclear energy is the greatest organized crime syndicate in the history of mankind. Mass murdering, kill. Look what's just going on in South Carolina that's broke today. You know, that bailout, that illegal buy. You know, all you in South Carolina, they sold all your personal information. They have it all because everybody has to have a power bill, right? Do you know they sold your personal information? That's criminal. Nothing happened. By the way, we'll talk about Monsanto's historic. They pled guilty today. Monsanto pled guilty today in Hawaii. But Monsanto still will not admit. Now, I want you to think about this. Not only that, a Chinese, this is all Chinese importing now, all of it. This is a Chinese oligarchy supply chain, whoredom university now, the worst in the country. Don't go see the Dalai Lama. We go from Kevin Blanche teaching the derivative options program. You know, where David O. McKay, how about Fawn McKay Brody? 17-year-old professor here, 17 years old, professor, history professor, born and raised here, taught here, his niece. All men know my history. Why is there not a statue of? There is at the University of Chicago. First female history dean in the history of the country, the greatest female writer in the history of the country. I think that's unarguable. You know, Harry Beecher Stowe might have a little bit of an argument. Uncle Tom Obama, his cabin on Balco. So, Trump will not, you know, bear Monsanto. Come on, look at Trump's line. He says it on his own. My father, you know, they're German Nazis. Bears Hitler's company. They're merged with Monsanto. They arrest a guy for espionage, for selling state secrets for Monsanto. So now Monsanto's the United States. Now, I remember when they arrested people and execute them at Los Alamos, but that was the Manhattan Project, thus the Post-Ignorance Project. I mean, it's amazing how they've bled this fascism. So Walt died today, and this is important here at the history of Weber State University, these fools. He's the first African-American NBA player in history. He's from Ogden. He's from Weber State, the gym right up there. They played at the U, but this was a JC then, you know. That's Damian Lillard's best game he ever played, ever. And this is important because when I got cancer and they blackballed me on this university for my sins, I mean, I have the first MBA from there. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, the shit they pulled on me, begged me, got on their hands and knees and begged me to teach their MBA program when Dr. Cooley died. And I did, like a dumbass. They fucked me so hard it was unbelievable. It's corruption. I mean, the nuclear energy, which is Wattis Construction, which is Fluor, developing nuclear reactors. I'm asking John Huntsman right over there. He doesn't even have a clue about NuScale. Oh, he does now. I've been talking to his people for the last 2 days. Oh, why he was in Russia Meanwhile, back on the Utah ranch, Dirty Herbie, who gave us let the nuclear waste in. He didn't even know. You could see in the interviews that how's that possible? He didn't know. He's the Russian ambassador when an SMR blew up. This is who's funding him. This university. This is Fluor. This is Wattis. This is GE. I mean, Littlefield, when it took over, that's his daughter's the philanthropist here. That's the CEO of GE for all these years. Corrupt. I mean, this is, hello, blackball me. So, Lillard never played in a tournament. That team was probably the best team since, well, besides '95 that Weber State ever had. That's when they woke up to Damian Lillard. So when I got blackballed and I got sick, I was in the bone marrow transplant full of cancer. Damian was on this campus. This is what I like about him so much. When Randy was recruiting him right there, they talked to me. I remember shaking his hand. I told, oh boy. The only people that stood up for me on this entire campus when I was full of Amaloo, and everybody thought I'd die, like they did for McKay Brody. They turned their back. Like they have Walt. They turned their back. Like Jay Marriott was right there. The bookstore's right there. He was the first manager of the bookstore here. There's lots of famous alumnus here. They turned their back on him because if you don't fit their fucking fairy tale fucking narrative, you know, their looting, corrupt narrative, which is all happened in the last 20 years, fuck me. Kevin Blanche, they blackball me. The other person that stood up when I was given 2 months was Randy Ray. Damian Lillard, the basketball team. I had a central line in me at that game. I knew he was going to the NBA. I knew he was going. Now, what he's evolved into, I had no idea, but it's amazing what they've done. So let's talk derivatives. So derivatives right here, I taught what's a put. So the options market was developed in the early 1980s, originally experimented on in Japan. Remember when the market bubbled in Japan? In 1980, still hasn't recovered from that nightmare. United States, that's what U.S. does. Yalta by the sea, we have a player from Yalta. We divided up the world, the United States took Japan. Japan is, Barry Antoinette Obama, the only thing truth he ever said. These treaties were signed long before I was born, yeah. And then he dropped dead, Stalin's words. What did Churchill use to kill him? We're talking FDR after he signed it. And then they found Truman, Truman, Truman! The dirtbag fucking, I mean, the only guy that's more pro-nuclear than Truman was Obama and Trump, who are identical fucking nuke the world twins. They're twins. It's like this impeachment trial. Everything, all roads lead to the nuclear energy crime. Manafort, Flynn, you know, Roger Stone, all of them work for the nuclear industry. All of them, all of them. You know, that's what they were doing in the Ukraine. But they, in these inquiries and these investigations, they stop right there when they get to the nuclear energy, which I call the untouchables. They do whatever they want. Think about the cover-up of Fukushima. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody it was one meltdown. They used to laugh at me on this campus. So when I'm full of cancer, American can. God, look, Ma. No hands. I can do this, right? God, you got your old sweater on. Oh, yeah. You know, the can was, that's here. That's here. American can was headquartered here, invented here, here. No, American got can. Rocky Mountain High. Nice catch, Kev. This ain't Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, this ain't Colorado. This is Blood, Utah. All roads lead to Utah. First NBA player, African-American player from here, not a word spoke his name. Bob McKay Brody, not a word speaks her name. Kevin Blanche, a long history of blackballing me. Fuck you. You know John Huntsman, like I told John Huntsman. Well, one activist full of cancer with a fucking YouTube camera. Well, that's significant. That's a lot more than he's done. You know, meanwhile, he's in Russia and China. He was asleep. He's awake now. So, the derivatives class. So options, they bought a put. They bought puts. Now this is important. So as you know, I told everybody buy puts on Chicago Bridge and Iron. Buy puts on Chicago Bridge and Iron. Chicago Bridge and Iron went from $20 to $9 in 2 days. Because all you're buying time. There were lots of people. There was a guy in Vegas who he had to make millions. Those derivatives, that derivative, that day they reported, in May, June, whenever it was, 2 years ago, 2017, went up by 3,000 times. Now, you know the 9/11 terrorists bought puts on the airline stock. I was interviewed right there in the room by the CIA. They were going to put a credit because Clyde Cooley had recommended me, or excuse me, Kyle Madsen had recommended me, because I was a derivative arbitrage specialist. That's what I did. That's what I did. Everybody knows it on this campus, whatever. They were going to do a trading room right there in my name, This is before the blackballing in the supply chain. Fucking Dirty Herbie's fucking economic development fucking team, usury America. Rocky Mountain way is better than the way we have. So they were smart enough to buy put. They bailed. They exercised their put yesterday. They exercised their option. So to exercise, all you're doing is buying time. It's a safety net. It's an insurance policy. So all I used to do, I used to buy high dividend yields fucking stocks, roll the put underneath. There's the same thing Madoff claimed he was doing. We knew in New York, whatever, that Madoff was lying at the lipstick bill. Everybody knew he was lying. But again, they turned their back just like Epstein. Fucking turned their back. Fucking, it's a club, you know. Laws. Don't get caught with a fucking marijuana seed on this campus, you know, but rob, loot, steal from your fucking people. You know, so it's a big story. They're out. When the French bail on you, when France bails on you, the nuclear, but they'll just run to get another bat. Manhattan Project, that's the post-ignorance project. They opened the spigot, never turned it off. It's the most corrupt fucking organization in the history of mankind. Now, I'll do another piece up there by the Event Center or the Swenson Gym for Walt. You know, I want to donate my collection to the school. You know, the thing I like about Lillard, I talked to him many times on this campus, you know, when I was sick. Same with Randy. This school did nothing for Damian Lillard. Zero. I have the last, you know, the bookstore gave it to me. I have it. Made in China slaves. I have the last one. There, see, there she is right there. You think I was lying. Don't go see the Dalai Lama. So I told some fucker asshole, he gave me, I said, this is a free speech zone. Number one, I was here before you got here. I'll be here after you fucking left. I've been here since 1968. Shook Bobby Kennedy's hand right over there. You know, don't fuck with me. For the angels you murdered, they watch out over me. So, you're buying time on puts and calls. That's all you do, is you just buy time. And it's got to move fast, happen fast. A lot of people have made millionaires off my financial calls. I mean, I was standing right here doing videos in 2010 telling you to double down on the market when everybody was selling the market. Telling you to buy Tesla at 32, 33, 34, 35. Buy. I made lots of millionaires all over. Short Chicago Bridge and Iron. Short GE. Short floor construction. This is floor construction. The SMR is floor. I mean, talk about books. Talk about literature. Talk about publish. All roads lead to Ogden. All roads lead to Vienna. That's Mozart. Well, Kevin Blanch, the new fucking radical fucking Beethoven. You know the story about Beethoven? In Vienna, he walks the... So this is important. Ogden, Vienna, the ties. Kitzbühel, long downhill skiers, there's a lot of ties. The Browning arms, war, profiteering, mass murder, this is this university. Selling to both sides. When the war was started, when the Roman Empire was Vienna, all roads lead to Vienna, Mozart. Oh yeah, it was a Browning. The great war profiteers never made anything here. There'll be no war profiteering like there was in World War I, II. Look who's sitting next to FDR. Who was here all the time? He was here, right here. All roads lead to Ogden. So was Teddy. So, uh-oh, it's 11. For whom the bell tolls, Churchill. What we've got here is failure to communicate. Now, we got cowards. We got war profiteerings. Let's let this ding 11 times. Perfect, right? Beethoven walks right through the royal family. All his friends go, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Are you crazy? They should step aside from me. So these wannabe monarchs, Huntsman. I've had interviews with Mike Lee, Huntsman, Romney, every Dirty Herbie, Governor, every single politician has had to face me. The wannabe monarchs, I call them. They should step aside for Kevin Blanch. In the name of Fawn McKay Brody. How about Bernard DeVoto? Oh, he was here. You know, I don't see their fucking names spoken. Most famous people, literary giants. As they say, it's getting awful fucking late. So they've bailed. Monsanto, criminal derelict motherfuckers. When are you going to wake up and realize the crime's right in your face? How can you deny Fukushima? I mean, it took me a year and a half to convince it was one meltdown full of cancer. So Lillard did nothing for him here. No media would report him. It was Jimmer. No media. Standard Examiner, school, signpost. Nobody touched him. I knew this fucker was that good. I'm like, oh my God, look at this guy. Weber always had talent like that. And he comes back to Weber. After he got drafted and became Rookie of the Year, they had buses with his face on it in their jerseys. Billboards. They were selling 100 of them a day at $169 a day in the bookstore. They did nothing for him when he was here. He comes back here, does a lot. I'm friends with him. He's an amazing dude, you know, mentally. And I mean, I don't know how he handles all this billionaire and these bodyguards and everybody's around him. We have 13 players playing in Europe right now. And so most of my viewership is in Austria, in Vienna, is all over Europe. They make plenty of money. Disobey consumption, fucking, you can be the next Cinderella, you could be the next King James, you can fucking win the lottery, fucking, the game's fucking rigged here anymore. Always been, nope, consumption junkies, what's your function? He takes the high road. He'll say that. They didn't do anything for you here, Damon. He sure does a lot for here. This school. I like how he wears the 0. He used to wear 1 in the quote of Muhammad Ali. I used to say I was number 1. I used to say I number 1. By the way, the greatest boxer who ever lived, bar none, no one's even fucking close to him, is Muhammad Ali. Anybody who did beat him when he's old, he come back and beat them, but fuck, a young fucking, oh, what a fighter. Oh my God. When he beat Sonny Liston, whoa, talk about shocked the world. I used to say I was number 1. I used to say I was number 1. God showed me I am not number 1. This is the high road he took when he got Parkinson's disease. One of the greatest wits in fucking human history. That's the way Damien is. He takes the high road. You know, that's what I've done. I've tried. I mean, I'm going to expose this corruption, but, you know, this is my town. This is my place. Go look at the cemetery. The first whitey buried in the cemetery. Look at his last name. You know, this corruption's outrageous, and John Hudson's going to get an earful because he was asleep, and he had to, while he was gone in Russia and China, they slaughtered our fucking place. He didn't even know the nuclear waste is coming here, right now, Eddie. Fucking hang in there, Eddie. Fucking I just want to sink my teeth into that fine piece of real estate. I've been to the edge. I stood and looked down. I lost a lot of friends there. I got no time to fuck around. Give me a break. One break. Coming up, I'll tell you, in the next video, I'll tell you a really great story about Eddie Van Halen. 5150. Oh, you ate one too? You know, so we'll talk a little bit about that. He's fighting for his life with cancer right now. Ricardo Iki can get no information. You know, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate, mass murderers from hell, and Monsanto. How about fucking Monsanto? They arrest him for espionage. The United States is protecting Bayer, the Hitler company. Operation Paperclip on Balco. 11/11. No stairway to heaven, Kevin. Stay tuned.